Hey everyone, welcome back to Retro Reel Recaps. Today we're talking about the movie Deep Water. This story follows a man who finds himself in serious trouble that keeps growing because of his wife's affairs with other men. The movie starts with a man named Vic Van Allen riding his bike through a forest on his way home. When he gets there, he sees his wife Melinda sitting on the stairs staring at him. Vic asks her what's wrong, but Melinda just gives him a small smile and walks away to her room without saying anything. Next we see their daughter Trixie. It's evening and she's playing with her toys, happily singing a rhyme. But Melinda is annoyed and tells her to stop. Then, someone knocks on the door. It's the babysitter. Melinda yells at Trixie again from upstairs. Vic feels awkward in front of the babysitter because of Melinda's behavior. Vic tells Trixie to listen to her mother, but Trixie ignores him and keeps singing her rhyme. Vic just smiles at this because Trixie is as stubborn as her mom. Melinda calls Vic upstairs to help her get ready. Vic and Melinda leave Trixie with the babysitter because they're going to a party. Vic goes upstairs. Melinda asks Vic to help her pick a dress, but Vic says she looks fine in what she's already wearing. Then, Vic helps her put on her shoes gently, showing how much he cares for her. They drive to the party looking stylish and happy. Melinda touches Vic's hair lovingly as they smile at each other. When they arrive, their friends are already there, having fun. Everything seems normal, until a young man named Joel Nash shows up. The second Melinda sees him, she greets him warmly and walks straight to him. Vic notices this and feels jealous but doesn't say anything. Melinda then takes Joel outside to the porch and start kissing him. Vic watches them through the window. Melinda sees that Vic is watching. Vic doesn't confront them, he just walks away. He already knows about Melinda's affairs and her interest in younger men, but he puts up with it because he loves her too much. Later, Vic's friend Mary Washington talks to him about it and asks, "You know everything, so why are you still in this relationship?" Vic calmly replies, "Melinda can do whatever she wants. I don't mind. I love her too much. I hope one day she'll understand my love." After this, Melinda gets drunk and starts playing the piano and singing. Everyone, including Joel, cheers for her. Vic watches her too, smiling because he's happy for her. Then Vic gets a drink from the bartender. Joel comes over too. Vic walks away, but Joel follows him and tries to say something. Joel says, "I want to thank you for two things. First, for you and Melinda being so welcoming since I'm new in town. It's really nice." Vic asks, "What's the second thing?" Joel hesitates, then replies, "Most husbands would be jealous seeing their wives with someone else, but you're like a brick, never jealous." Hearing this, Vic's expression changes, but he stays calm. Vic smirks as he says, "Have you heard of Martin McRae? He disappeared a while ago. He was a good friend of Melinda's. He used to follow her everywhere just like you, until I killed him." Joel looks shocked by Vic's words. He tries to act calm but is clearly nervous. "You must be joking," he says. Vic replies in a strange tone, "That depends on how you take it." Scared, Joel quickly walks away. Melinda sees him leaving and tries to stop him, but Joel makes up an excuse and rushes out of the party. After the party, Melinda is drunk and asks, "What did you say to Joel that made him leave like that?" Vic lies and says, "I didn't say anything." Melinda starts smoking, and after some effort, Vic finally gets her into the car. On the way home, Melinda puts her feet on the dashboard and eats an apple while staring at Vic curiously. When they arrive, it's very late, so Vic pays the babysitter extra for staying longer. Melinda is so drunk that she starts undressing in front of the babysitter. Vic asks what she's doing and takes her upstairs. He tries to put her in bed, but Melinda, upset with him, says she wants to sleep alone and tells Vic to sleep somewhere else. Vic goes to the basement, where we see he keeps snails. The next morning, Vic makes breakfast for Melinda and gives her medicine. Melinda is clearly in a bad mood. Trixie is there too, working on a science project. Vic sits next to her, and Trixie asks why her mom is upset. Melinda says, "Your dad built bombs," but Trixie, still focused on her project, corrects her dad built computer chips, not bombs. Vic looks at Melinda with a small, satisfied smile. Later, Vic drops Trixie off at school and meets a friend who jokes, "So, have you started killing people now?" "That's all anyone's talking about." Vic laughs and says, "Joel must have spread that. I was just joking, but he got scared." As the day goes on, Vic meets two more friends, Tom and Miles, and they ask the same thing. Vic tells them all it was just a joke, but Melinda finds out what Vic said to Joel, using Martin's name to scare him. She gets very angry. She confronts Vic while brushing her teeth, hitting him and saying, "You shouldn't have done that. First you pushed Martin away, and now Joel. Martin was my friend, and I miss him." Vic tries to explain, "I was only joking. It wasn't serious." But Melinda doesn't accept this and says, "Tonight, I'm inviting Joel for supper. You'll apologize to him." That evening, Joel comes over for supper. Everyone sits together, but the tension is obvious. Melinda and Vic talk sarcastically. After supper, Melinda tells Trixie, "Tonight, your dad will tell you lots of bedtime stories." But really, she says this because she wants to be alone with Joel. Vic knows what she's doing but doesn't say anything. Vic takes Trixie to her room, tells her a story, and puts her to bed early. Once Trixie is asleep, Vic comes downstairs. As he passes a mirror, he sees Melinda and Joel together. Vic starts feeling jealous, and in frustration he goes to the kitchen and smashes a plate on purpose. Hearing the noise, Melinda rushes in and casually asks Vic to get Joel another drink before going back to the other room. Vic pours a drink and takes it to Joel. When he hands it to him, Joel, still uncomfortable about Vic's earlier joke, says, "Don't you think you should apologize for that murder joke?" This time, Vic stops joking and gets serious. He tells Joel, "Actually, that murder joke wasn't a joke. I really killed him. I hit him on the head with a hammer." Joel looks terrified again. Vic then says, "Your Uber is here." Joel says he didn't call one, but Vic replies, "I did." Scared, Joel quickly leaves the house. The next day, Vic, Melinda, and Trixie go to a party at Vic's friend Kelly Wilson's house. Many of their friends and other people are there too. At the party, Vic meets Lionel, Kelly's husband, who is a writer and often travels for work. Vic and Lionel start talking and the conversation quickly gets personal. Just then, Kelly walks over and stands unusually close to Vic, staring at him in a strange way. Lionel asks Vic about his job, and Vic says, "I do small businesses sometimes, but mostly I just ride my bike." Melinda overhears them and says something sarcastic. She reveals Vic actually designed a microchip the military uses in drones. It helps them bomb targets with perfect accuracy. Hearing this, Lionel says, "So you're the famous Vic Van Allen who killed Martin McRae?" Vic gets serious and says it was just a joke. His friends nearby also say it was a joke. We learn that Vic is an engineer and a rich man, but Vic clearly doesn't like Lionel, and their conversation feels tense. As the party continues, everyone seems to be having fun. Kelly tells Vic, "Your wife is very beautiful." Hearing this, Vic asks Kelly to dance. While they dance, Melinda watches and gets jealous. On the drive home, Melinda tells Vic, "Your friend Kelly is very attractive." Vic shyly agrees, "Yes, she is." Melinda teases him, "Do you want to sleep with Kelly?" Vic honestly says yes, but adds that wasn't his first thought. Melinda gives him a playful look. When they get home, they end up being intimate and spend the night together. A few days later, Trixie is playing soccer with her school friends. Melinda isn't happy about it. She tells Vic the other girls are older, but Vic disagrees, saying they're all around the same age. While watching the kids play, Vic gets a call from his bank. They tell him Melinda recently transferred $3,000 to another account. Vic asks for details, and learns the money was sent to someone named Charles Delisle. After this call, Vic realizes Melinda has a new boyfriend now that Joel is gone. Vic decides to find out more about Charles. One evening, he goes to a restaurant that has live piano music. He sees Melinda sitting there, completely focused on the pianist. Vic immediately understands. This pianist is Melinda's new love interest, Charles. After this discovery, Melinda's behavior changes. She starts coming home very late more often, making it obvious her relationship with Charles is serious. Vic feels jealous and hurt, but he doesn't say anything. One night, while waiting for Melinda, Vic sees a news report on TV. Martin's body, the man who was murdered, has been found in the woods. When Melinda finally comes home late, Vic asks where she was. She says, "I was having dinner with a new friend." Vic then tells her, "Martin's body has been found." He says he's sorry, but Melinda asks, "Are you really?" Before storming out, leaving Vic deep in thought. The day after their argument, Vic takes Trixie to pick out a puppy at the pet store. As they're heading home, Trixie asks if her mom is doing okay. Vic reassures her that Melinda is fine. But right after this, Vic spots Charles walking down the street holding a bouquet of flowers. At lunchtime, Vic sees those same flowers on their dining table. Melinda had put them there after they finish eating, and Melinda leaves the room. Vic grabs the flowers in anger and throws them straight into the garbage. He then heads down to the basement where he keeps his snail collection. While watching the snails move slowly, he suddenly pictures Melinda and Charles being physically close in his mind. This mental image makes him extremely angry. That same night, Melinda doesn't return home at all. Vic waits up all night, and when she finally walks in the next morning, he can't hold back his anger anymore. He shouts at her, "Where were you all night? You have a daughter here who needs you. And why did you transfer all that money to Charles?" Melinda stays completely relaxed, which only makes Vic angrier. She starts telling him exactly where she was and who she was with. Doing this deliberately because she enjoys making Vic jealous. She knows Vic would never actually leave her, no matter how badly she behaves. And she uses this to her advantage. This infuriates Vic even more. Later that same day, their friends are hosting a pool party. At first, Vic is pleased to see Melinda having fun with their friends. But then Melinda does something unexpected. She invites Charles to come to the party too. When Charles arrives, Melinda immediately starts clinging to him right in front of everyone. She introduces him to all their friends, and soon Charles is playing beautiful music on the piano. All the guests, including Melinda, start dancing happily to his playing. Vic clearly doesn't like what's happening, but he keeps his feelings to himself. At one point, Melinda brings Charles over and introduces him to Vic as her new friend. Vic forces himself to act normal and has a normal conversation with Charles before walking away. As the party continues into the night, Vic starts looking around the house for Melinda. During his search, he catches her sneaking out of a room by herself. It's immediately clear to Vic why Melinda and Charles are there alone. Later, he sees them in the pool together with other guests, laughing and playing around. But the way they're touching each other goes way beyond normal friendliness, and Vic has to fight to control his rage. Suddenly, a heavy rainstorm begins and everyone hurries inside. Vic is the last person to come in from the rain, and he looks slightly uneasy. Lionel notices Vic's strange behavior. Inside, the group gathers in the kitchen to prepare snacks and drinks. Vic deliberately grabs a cookie that's too hot and pretends to burn his fingers on it. His friends laugh at his clumsiness. A little while later, Melinda notices that Charles isn't around and steps aside to find him. Suddenly, her terrified scream pierces through the house. Everyone rushes to the door where Melinda stands frozen, Charles's lifeless body floating in the water. They rush to the pool, quickly pull him out and try to save him using CPR, but it's no use. Charles is already dead. Vic tries to put his arm around Melinda to comfort her, but she shoves him away while crying uncontrollably. Their friend Kelly immediately calls the police. When officers arrive to investigate, Melinda points at Vic and screams, "He did this! Vic killed Charles!" The other party guests quickly step in, telling the police, their marriage has been having problems lately. She's just upset and not thinking clearly. When the rain started, Vic came inside with the rest of us. There's no way Vic could have done this. The police take Vic to a separate room to question him. They ask about Melinda's relationship with Charles. Vic tells them he accepts Melinda's choices because he loves her for who she is. He shows them his burned fingers as proof he was inside cooking when Charles died. After some questions, the police find no reason to arrest him and eventually leave. As Vic and Melinda are leaving Tom's house, Tom tries to comfort Vic, but Melinda keeps saying bad things about Vic. In the car ride home, Melinda cries and hits Vic repeatedly, while Vic stays quiet and doesn't react at all. The next morning, Vic asks Melinda a direct question. "If you really think I killed Charles, why aren't you afraid of me?" Melinda replies, "Because I know I'm the reason you killed him," leaving Vic with nothing to say. A few days later, we see Vic riding his bike alone. When he stops at a warehouse, we see a flashback of what really happened the night Charles died. Vic did kill Charles out of jealousy by drowning him in the pool. As Vic thinks about what Melinda and Charles might have done together in private, we realize that Vic has been secretly getting rid of Melinda's lovers without anyone finding out. When Vic rides away from the warehouse, he notices a car following him. He keeps cycling and suddenly stops, but the car keeps going to avoid looking suspicious. The next day, Vic drops Trixie at school. As he's leaving, his friend Kelly is waiting for him. She hesitates before saying, "I don't know if I should tell you this, but Melinda and my husband Lionel are working against you. They're telling everyone you killed Charles." Vic acts calm and tells Kelly he'll invite her and Lionel to dinner at his house to explain his side. That evening, Lionel and Kelly arrive at Vic's house for dinner. Vic takes Lionel to the room where he keeps his snails. Speaking calmly but with a hidden threat, Vic says, "Stop letting Melinda trick you into seeing me the wrong way. You were there that night Lionel and I haven't killed Charles?" Lionel avoids answering directly, just saying Vic is a weird guy. Vic agrees, saying many people have told him that. Vic now understands Lionel won't drop this matter. As a writer, Lionel seems too interested in Vic's personal life. Vic also thinks Lionel might be jealous because he suspects Kelly has feelings for Vic. The next day, while walking around town, Vic sees the same car that followed him before, now parked near a restaurant. Looking inside, he spots a camera with a telephoto lens. Vic is smart enough to realize this must be a private investigator's car. When he enters the restaurant, he's surprised to find Melinda having lunch with another man. Melinda seems equally surprised to see Vic. Vic sits down with them, and Melinda introduces the man as David Resigliani, a psychotherapist planning to open a clinic in town. But Vic doesn't believe this story. As he leaves, he asks David for a business card. When David says he doesn't have one, Vic coldly replies, "No problem. I know where to find you." This shocks David, but Melinda just smiles in frustration. Vic angrily bursts into Lionel's house, where Lionel is eating lunch with Kelly and their daughter Goldie. Vic sits down at their table and accuses Lionel of hiring a private detective to follow him. Lionel says this isn't true, but Kelly looks shocked and asks Lionel what's going on when Lionel keeps denying it. Vic pulls out a bank statement showing Melinda sent money to Lionel's account, proof that Lionel was involved. Lionel has nothing to say in response. Vic storms out, and Kelly apologizes to Vic. After he leaves, Kelly and Lionel have a big fight. While driving home, Vic sees Melinda going out with another man. He realizes this is Anthony Cameron, an old college friend of Melinda's, who has now become her new boyfriend. Vic watches as Melinda happily walks away with him. Later at home, while Trixie is taking a bath, she suddenly asks Vic how he killed Charles, saying her friends keep asking her about it. Vic is shocked but tells Trixie he didn't kill Charles. Trixie insists she knows the truth. Vic jokes and says, "Let's keep this our little secret." When he puts Trixie to bed, he hears Melinda talking lovingly on the phone with Anthony, which makes him very jealous and angry. The next morning, while Melinda is bathing, Vic confronts her about where she went last night. Melinda refuses to answer and ignores him. Vic leaves without saying more. Later that day, Anthony comes to their house to see Melinda. Vic is home too, and quickly understands what's happening. They all eat dinner together, but Vic can't stop watching how Anthony and Melinda act with each other after dinner. Anthony finds a chance to sneak into Melinda's room, where they start being intimate. Vic, as usual, is secretly watching them. But this time, Melinda catches Vic watching them, making for a very uncomfortable moment. The following day, Vic follows Anthony in his car. When Anthony comes out of a store, Vic pulls up and casually says, "Hey, Melinda's been trying to reach you. She might have something important to say. Come with me. I'll take you to her." Anthony, not suspecting anything, gets in the car, but instead of taking Anthony to Melinda, Vic tells him Melinda is waiting at a special picnic spot near a gorge, the place where they had their first date. Vic drives Anthony deep into the forest to a lonely area near the gorge. When they arrive, Anthony gets out and asks, "Why are we here?" Without answering, Vic picks up a rock and hits Anthony on the head. Before Anthony can react, Vic grabs a bigger rock and hits him again. In the process, Anthony falls into a ditch and dies on the spot. Vic climbs down to check Anthony is really dead. He ties heavy rocks to Anthony's body so it will sink. While doing this, he finds Anthony's wallet and keeps it. He drags the body to the river and makes sure it sinks completely. Happy that no one will find the body, Vic leaves. On the drive home, he smiles to himself. Back home, he looks at some photos he secretly took of Melinda, showing how much he still loves her. When Vic enters the living room, he finds Melinda and Trixie packing for a picnic. Melinda asks, "Do you want to come with us?" Vic pretends to be excited and says yes, asking where they're going. Trixie happily says, "We're going to that gorge we always visit." Vic is appalled. This is exactly where he just left Anthony's body, but he has no choice but to go along. He drives Melinda and Trixie to the same forest picnic spot. Melinda, not knowing what Vic just did, seems truly happy and tries talking to him. She asks, "Why are you still putting up with me?" Vic stays calm and answers romantically, "I don't know why, but all I want is to spend my whole life with you." Then he gives Melinda a special gift, a photo album filled with all the pictures he's taken of her over time. Vic and Melinda share a tender moment, but their closeness is interrupted when Trixie calls out, "Dad, come here." Vic quickly goes to his daughter, who points at the riverbank saying, "My puppy won't move from that spot." Vic helps Trixie, but as he looks in the gorge, he's horrified. Anthony's body, which he had hidden underwater, is now partly visible above the surface. Vic quickly makes up an excuse for them to leave immediately. On the drive home, Melinda says, "Wait, I left my scarf back there." Vic thinks fast and replies, "Don't worry, I'll go get it tomorrow." That evening, Vic casually asks Melinda, "Did Anthony call you today?" Melinda answers without concern, "No, I haven't heard from Anthony in 2 days. Maybe he's disappeared like the others." Then, unexpectedly, Melinda hugs Vic and whispers, "Stay in my room tonight?" Vic agrees, and they spend an intimate night together. Early next morning, Vic rides his bike back to the forest to deal with Anthony's body. When he arrives, he uses a stick to push the body deeper underwater where no one can see it. Meanwhile, at home, Melinda decides to clean Vic's snail room. While looking around, she finds something shocking: Anthony's wallet. She picks it up and realizes what this means. Vic killed Anthony, just like he killed the others. While Vic is still struggling to hide Anthony's body completely, he suddenly hears someone calling him out. He turns to see Lionel standing there. "What are you doing here, Vic?" Lionel asks suspiciously. Vic, caught off guard, says he's looking for Melinda's scarf. Lionel, who is actually holding the scarf, says, "It's right here with me." "Then why are you down there with that stick?" Vic panics, trying to think of an explanation, but Lionel knows something is wrong. He steps closer, and at that exact moment, Anthony's body floats up to the surface again. Without saying another word, Lionel runs to his car and speeds away. Vic realizes Lionel is going to tell the police everything. He jumps on his bike and chases after Lionel, taking a shortcut through the forest to cut him off. Inside the car, Lionel tries to call both Kelly and the police, but he's panicking so much that he drops his phone. While driving too fast around the sharp curves, he can't find where his phone fell. As Lionel drives fast down the winding road, Vic suddenly appears from the trees. Lionel loses control of his car, which crashes down a steep hill into the river below, killing Lionel instantly. Back at home, Melinda has made her decision. After finding Anthony's wallet and understanding the truth, she decides to leave Vic. She starts packing her things to take Trixie away, but Trixie rebels. She drags all the packed bags to the pool and throws them in. Melinda shouts at Trixie, but Trixie says firmly, "We're not leaving Dad, he loves us." Hearing this, Melinda finally sees how much Vic truly loves her. She realizes that she might be the reason everything has gone so wrong. She takes Anthony's wallet and burns it, removing all evidence that could lead to Vic. The story now returns to the very first scene of the movie, Vic cycling home through the forest. Melinda sits watching him quietly. When Vic gets closer, he sees her thoughtful expression and asks, "What's wrong?" Melinda gives him a small smile and says simply, "I've found Anthony." Vic stares at her, unable to speak. Melinda then stands up and walks into the house, ending our story. If you like this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more movie recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time with another exciting movie breakdown.